Hi, DPR Jones here. This is not a video I would normally make. I have about 3 or 4 other videos that I'm in the process of making. However, at the moment, particularly given the serious nature of the previous few videos I've posted, I lack the energy to finish them, and this may offer me a refreshing break. So what do I like? I like the smell of the spring air when I leave the house in the morning. I like watching a beautiful sunset. I love the sea and the cliffs. I love this place, Portgaven, a small village on the North Cornish coast where I've spent many times celebrating New Year. I like this bench on the headland, barely visible in this picture, where I've spent many hours staring out over the sea, hearing the waves crashing around me and tasting the salt in the air. From that same seat, on a clear night, you can look upwards to the heavens and see the light given off by the belt of the Milky Way. It was from this very spot that I saw my first shooting star. I love sport and will never forget this moment.
Wilkinson right back in the pocket, and Dawson suddenly gets away. And that's done vitally well to Brigham. Wilkinson is now perfectly in range. That has to be a penalty. He came up the side. Again, Wilkinson in the place. Johnny Wilkinson, he's got it! It's over!
And how, 20 seconds later, the tears of joy burned my cheeks as the final whistle was blown and England had won the 2003 Rugby World Cup.
They must just make sure they don't give away a penalty. Clear to touch. You don't care where it goes. Touch put it in. England have won the 2003 World Cup.
Nor will I forget this moment of sporting history and the agonising 6 minutes that followed as Stephen Redgrave attempted to be the first man ever to win 5 gold medals in consecutive Olympic Games in an endurance sport. Nor the fear I felt in the last 250 metres of the race when it looked like Italy may catch them.
But as we go into the final quarter of the race, it's Great Britain who've got the lead, but they are really being pressured by the Italians.
Yeah, there was sudden quick change of rate there from Matthew Pinsent. Good call there. It went back up to 40 strokes a minute to respond there. Fantastic gear change. Up to 40 strokes a minute to respond to Italy, who are really piling on the pressure now. Italy moving all the time. And the Great Britain crew holding them off, though. They've seen the danger. They're holding them off. And huge crowd on their feet, everybody willing Redgrave to his 5th gold medal, and it looks like it's going to be there. Their technique is good. Australia coming back in again, Australia moving up on Italy, but it's the Great Britain 4 who look that they've got about a half a length here. They're not going to get beaten. They're up to 44 strokes a minute. They're in front. They're going to stay in front all the way to the line.
And the crowd rising now, standing. Everybody's up there to see this moment as Great Britain and Steve Redgrave cross the line in first place to take the gold ahead of Italy. But he's done it, Dan. A 5th Olympic gold medal, the first athlete in an endurance sport to achieve what he has just done. Look at him there. He looks a bit out of it.
At one point, he must have been thinking, is this going to work? Is this going to happen? Can I do it? Can I go on? And he did go and talk to his coach 2 or 3 times, saying, I don't know if I can do this. I think I'm coming to the end of it. Oh, and there's Matthew Pinsent. There's Matthew Pinsent crawling back along the boat over Tim Foster, and he's going to give him a hug. Oh, what a great shot. What a great shot. These 2 men who've been together for such a long time, 9 years. Oh, and Pinsent goes overboard. He's in the water. Hang on to the boat. Hang on to the boat.
I like the works of the poet Dylan Thomas. I like the fact that I can still be tickled by the rub of love. I like books, biographies and autobiographies mainly, but also books on history. I have some special attraction to the beginning of the 20th century and the downfall of the Russian royal family, and the characters that played a part in it, Rasputin and Prince Felix Yusupov, one of those that conspired and did kill him. I love intelligence and intellectual honesty and integrity. Has it ever crossed your mind that... No, never mind. I like art. Too many examples to give here. Let me just describe one. Michelangelo's statue of David. A lump of white marble carved into one of the most wondrous creations that no words or pictures can do it justice. I like the fact that I've been fortunate enough to see it in Florence. I like the warmth and empathy shown by those who work to help others, and the extraordinary bravery and selflessness shown by some in times of crisis. In 1996, a man called Horrocks Campbell, a paranoid schizophrenic, went to a primary school in Wolverhampton, England. Armed with a machete, he began attacking children playing in the playground. A teacher, Lisa Potts, then only 21, selflessly and courageously put herself between him and the children. She suffered terrible injuries. Her arm was nearly severed off, and she suffered severe cuts to her head, back, and arms. Although 4 children were injured, she undoubtedly saved many others from harm. The following year she was awarded the George Medal for Bravery, the highest honour that the Queen can bestow for bravery. I like comedy.
Let's try again, shall we? This is called adding. If I have 2 beans, and then I add 2 more beans, what do I have?
Some beans.
Yes and no. Let's try again, shall we? I have 2 beans, then I add 2 more beans. What does that make?
A very small casserole.
Baldric, the ape creatures of the Indus have mastered this. Now try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many are there?
3.
What?
And that one.
3 and that one. So if I add that one to the 3, what will I have?
Oh, some beans.
Yes. To you, Baldric, the Renaissance was just something that happened to other people, wasn't it?
I like the fact that, despite the inconceivable odds, I am here to witness and experience all these wonderful things. Some years ago, I read a book. It contained a passage which, to the best of my recollection, read as follows. Because we do not know when we will die, we get to think of life as an inexhaustible well. But actually things happen only a certain number of times, and a very small number, actually. How many more times will you remember a particular afternoon of childhood? An afternoon that is so much of your being that you cannot conceive of your life without it. Perhaps 5 or 6, perhaps not even that. How many more times will you watch the new moon rise? Perhaps 20. But at the time, it all seems limitless. It's worth thinking about sometimes. Thank you for watching.